And very pleased to see this group very reactive with many questions and comments, and good ones at that. So looking forward to working with you all in the next 6 weeks. So, all right, so you can see, let's go to the onboarding page. And I really want to show you how, and if you have questions, type them in the chat. If any of you have burning questions, we can try to fix it. Yes. Okay. All right, so it says I am sharing my screen. Yeah. Okay, are you able to see WHO? You have my screen, the Geneva Learning page from the Geneva Learning Foundation, WHO GRISP Scholar onboarding instructions. You're all able to see that at this point. Can you type okay if you are hearing me and if you're able to see my screen? Okay, great. All right. So let's get started. So yes, here, as you can see, we have 3 services or tools that we'll be using. Right now, if you made it here today, then you figured out number 2. And the only thing I can advise is, let me see if I can find this in my Gmail. Will be to, let me see whether this will work. Yeah. Yeah, will be, all right, is that you should get, you will receive email notifications from GoToTraining, and it's important that those do not end up in your spam, all right? So for those of you, just in case you need to help anybody, so this is the link, of course, that you click to register. These are the times, yes, anybody with a legitimate reason for absence will be expected to view the recording of the discussion, and I've shared now in the materials the link for that. If you know ahead of time that you're not going to be able to make a session, that means you'll have a little bit more work to do catching up. It won't be as lively or as interesting, but it is a requirement for certification. Now, the WhatsApp group, just to put that, for those of you who've had trouble joining that, let me see, I'm going to post the link into the chat. This is the link to join the WhatsApp group. It should be fairly friction-free. And now I think where most of you are at is on steps 3 and 4 for Scholar. So let's go look at that. So there is a step-by-step guide here. And I would encourage you to look at that if you haven't already. Yes, and follow the steps, of course. And then really, if you're feeling bold, you can click here to begin creating a new account in Scholar. So let me just do this a little differently. Yeah. So let me just create a quick account. Let's say I was born in January 1st, 1970. So I'm going to give myself set key, yes, GRISP test. So I'm going to put in my email address. And then, so here's the first pitfall. One is that you are asked by Scholar to make up a username. So you can put anything. Yes. So if I want to put, yes, yeah, so GRISP course test account. Okay, I can do that. Now, whoops, okay, so test, it's maximum 20 characters. Right, so the problem is that most people will type something in here and then forget what they used. Or most people will use an email. You may have a Yahoo email and a Gmail and a Hotmail and then your work mail. Yeah, so Caroline, yeah, to receive an error message when trying to create her account. Be happy to look at your case once we finish running this through. Maybe you'll see what went wrong or why. Just looking through this, I just actually saw something that I'm logged in, so that account creation is not going to work. All right, so let me just start that again. Whoops. All right. Oops. So let's keep testing for a week for pre-course. Okay, of course you should put your real given name and surname. So then that's going to be my email address for this one. And then GRISP tutorial test is going to be my username. And so the problem typically tends to be that, yes, indeed, if you are registered for the coverage survey course for another Scholar course, you don't need to register again. All right, and we can deal with that case later because that's actually, you have fewer steps to go through. So now I need to pick the password. So of course, the password needs to be a minimum of 8 characters and must contain at least one letter and number. So there. Now, you have 3 pieces of information that you're going to need to be able to recall in order to get into to sign into Scholar again. And many people, unfortunately, do not just are not attentive or just forget what they put in and then get stuck later. You then need to agree to the conditions of use. So let's do that here. Okay. Now here. To finalize your account, and this can be a bit tricky, you can see here, you actually have to type, this is to make sure you're not a robot. So this looks like Kings, and then I say 5400, I hope that's it. And then you type on create account. Let's see if I got this right. Okay, now it's create an account. A link has been sent to the email address you provided. So let me go to my email. I'm going to share that next. So let me see. So yeah. And this is where I'll show you what it actually looks like. Let me just go to my email. I'm just figuring out the easiest way to share my email here. Yeah. All right. So let me try to bring in my email window into this window. Okay. Okay. That does not seem to be working. So let me try a different way. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm using Gmail. And here you can see there are confirmations and confirmation instructions. So this is, are you able to see my Gmail screen? I just want to make sure that's still working. If you can type okay and reassure me that, yeah, okay, thanks, Mohammed. All right, so this is the email. So if you're looking for it because you can't find it right away, it's coming in through no reply at cgscholar.com. So in Gmail, for example, or whatever you're using, you could search for that and you would then find the confirmation instructions. The subject header is called confirmation instructions. And then here you can confirm your account through the link below. So let me confirm my account. And now it says, you can see your account was successfully confirmed. Please sign in now. So here's the hard part. Many people, this is the main reason why people are not able to get through the process. So I have to remember my username or email. Yes. And yes. So yes. Let me see. So GRISP. Okay, so that was GRISP tutorial test. I have to remember my password and then I have to sign in. Okay, so now let me try signing in. Okay, so now I've signed in successfully. And I'm going to take a pause here because that's really step 1. If you look at the onboarding guide, this is that video, create your account in Scholar, is what I just showed you. So any questions at that point, we can now look at Caroline's and Emmanuel's cases before we go any further. Yeah, let me see if we can unmute Emmanuel and yeah, so Caroline, how are you doing? Where are you connecting from? Okay, maybe there seems to be something wrong with your microphone. Could you come to speak closer to your mic? Okay, we can hear. We can hear you. the noise in your workplace, but all right. So Caroline said, I tried to create my account but received an error message. So let me just have a quick, actually I won't be able to do it with this account, so we'll come back to that. And to Emmanuel's question as well. Any other questions about this part of the process? Okay, all right. All right, let's look at Fiona. Fiona, yes, what is your question or comment about this step?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to ask what was on the screen because I was seeing something completely different, but right now I can see you are creating a bit.
Okay, so before I went to the account creation, I was sharing, and I'm sharing again my Gmail, showing the confirmation instructions. So you may not be using Gmail, but it's just whatever email client you're using, you'll get a message called confirmation instructions, and you can search for those words in order to find it, because it may end up in your junk mail or in some other folder. And it's this link, confirm my account, that you use to complete your account creation. You won't be able to complete your account creation unless you confirm in your email. And once you do, you log in again, which means you have to recall 3 pieces of information, and then you create your blip. So this is my account for a quick demo for the October 2017 GRISP cohorts. Okay, you have just a few, so you just have to basically introduce yourself, you're in 140 characters, and then you can go to the next step. So there are 3 steps. I'm going to add William Cope, who is on the course team. You can, yes, you may not know people at this point, yes, so, and then you can click to the, just to the next step, and then you're actually, so my first updates. Welcome everyone to the GRISP course. So this is an update that'll be posted in your personal profile, but this was what you'll actually, the process you'll actually work through to post your week 1 community assignments. The big difference is you'll need to do it from the community. In this case, I'm posting an update from my personal profile. So welcome to the GRISP course, everyone. Yes, I can also add pictures and links or YouTube videos here, but in this case, to keep it short, I'm just going to click on finish, and there. Okay, so now that completes account creation. My account in Scholar is now created, and I have gone through the 3 steps, filling out the blip, selecting peers, and then posting my first update. But there's a next step. If we go back and look at onboarding, after creating your accounts, you complete your personal profile, and then you actually have to join the community in Scholar for this module, for the GRISP course. So here, I'm now going to click here to view the community while I am logged into Scholar. And what does this say? We're sorry, you cannot view this page. So what is going on here? Does anybody know, anybody would like to raise your hand and just explain what is the next step to follow here? Yeah. Yes, Emmanuel. Go ahead, please. You may need to unmute yourself. All right, okay. Or let's go to Paul. Yes, Paul, you'll need to unmute yourself. And Mohammed says...
the person has not joined the community yet, yes.
Exactly, yeah, all right, thanks for that. So these are just very basic things. If you can manage immunization programs and planning, you should be able to get through this. You just have to pay attention and follow the instructions. It's really that simple. So in the instructions, in fact, the next step, just to go back to the, all right, let me just go back to the onboarding, instructions. Yes, so going back to the step here, click on the button Join Community in the left-hand menu. So if I do that, let me just, as soon as I do that, Join Community, a membership request has been sent to WHO Immunization Strategies and Practices, okay? So that means that your request to join the GRISP, it's actually called immunization strategies and practices community has been sent to the course team. We review it and then we accept it. So I'm going to go sort of behind the scenes this time as an administrator to actually approve that request, so that you can then see the next the next step in the process. So let me just go in, and again, this is behind the scenes, and this is what we've been doing. Yes, we've been doing throughout. So the course team instantly gets a notification that someone has requested invitation to join the community, and now you can see at the top here that okay, that's the peer request. But if I now go to community, you can see now that you joined one community, meaning that your request has been approved. So it may take a few minutes or a few hours, but just keep checking back, and as soon as you have joined the community, then you can go into it, and as you can see, there's quite a lot happening there, and this is what I want to cover next. But just to recap, once you've gone through that account creation process, remember you need to, and it's really indispensable, you need to, let me find the accounts. You need to be able to recall your username, the password, in order to sign in, as well as the email address that you used for this. So let's go ahead and sign in. Now, the first thing you see when you sign into Scholar is not the GRISP course community. It's your personal profile. You can see your name is here in yellow, and just there's a tutorial to show how you can add your photo here, so we can get a sense of who you are, and many of you have already done so. We encourage you to do that. It's a great way of getting to know each other, and you can see that your communities are here. All right, so everyone is by default a member of the Scholar user group, but then you actually need to go through the step of adding yourself to the WHO, requesting membership in the WHO immunization strategies and practices community. And then now when you see this blue bar at the top here, WHO immunization, then you know you're in the right place. If you haven't seen this yet, then you did not follow the steps as they were given, or you got lost or stuck somewhere. And so for Emmanuel, who was already participating in a different Scholar course, all you need to do in this step, let me just go to the onboarding page, is actually click here to view the community, and then click on Join Community. And Emmanuel, let me try unmuting you again. Let's hear from you if you can tell us whether you've been able to do that successfully. Yeah, Emmanuel, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess not. So now you are in the right place, but you can see there's tons of things happening. People are joining the community. There are comments. There are updates. How do you make sense of this mess? And it's only going to get messier as more people join. Right now, we only have 46 people who've joined, but obviously the point of Orientation Week is to help people through this process. So I'm going to show you, first of all, well, probably the most important piece of information, and I'm just gonna, let me just tidy up some of these windows here. So probably the single most important piece of information about how to use Scholar, and unfortunately there are only 24 of you who have stuck it out and are still here with us, but let me show you how you can view only the updates from the course team. So in your daily check-in to Scholar, really the question is, how do I find out what I need to do next? So this is the answer to that question. And I will first show you the hard way, which is a 3-step process, and then I'll show you the easy way, which is a 1-step process. So let's start with the hard way. So first of all, go to this WHO immunization strategy, and you'll see there's a menu with a bunch of options. So activity stream, updates, about, interests, members, shares with admins. So by default, what you're looking at is the activity stream here, okay? And that shows you everything. Now you could say, well, okay, I see this filter button here. Shouldn't I be able to filter yes, and find the updates from the course team here? So that is not the recommended way to do it because you will not be able to differentiate, to sort of isolate just the updates from the course team. Everyone in the course will be posting updates. So in order to find the one update when there are 50 from other participants, this is not the best way to do it. So first, the hard way is to go here and to click on updates. So go to that blue menu. Whoops, I'm having trouble with zooming on the screen, but yes, and now you are looking at just the updates. And right now there are in fact only updates from the administrators from the course team, so you may not immediately see the big difference, but trust me, you will. Step 2 is again to go to filter updates. But now you can see that the options here are actually a little different from what we saw a minute ago, because now you have a menu that by which you can show all activity from the admins. And that is what you're going to need to do in your daily check-in, is look at what has been posted today for orientation day 2 and tomorrow morning for orientation day 3. So yes, so that is the hard way. Let me see, do we have a volunteer who would like to demonstrate that for us, either someone who is already familiar with Scholar or someone who thinks that they got it actually? And then if we have a volunteer, please raise your hand. I'll make you the presenter. Okay, and unfortunately, you are accessing Scholar, GoToTraining from a phone, so that's not going to be possible. But Mohammed, do you have a specific question? If you'd like to, you'll need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, sorry, because as you already said that from mobile phone, I am totally unable to do that.
No. Yeah. All right. But thank you for volunteering, and we look forward to your you being one of the first volunteer presenters in the coming weeks. There will be many opportunities to present. So let me. All right. Anyone else? Otherwise, I'll go through the steps again myself. But again, there's no better way than to actually try this yourself. Okay, so Alain Blaise Tatsinkou, welcome. Let me make you the presenter, and let's see if you could bring log into Scholar. Yeah, so you should now see. Yes, yes, indeed. So we should now see. Yeah, that's right. Okay,
yeah,
and if you could.
Yeah, Rena, I was already connected to the website, so I was on Scholar. Basically, I've joined the group already. So as you see on my screen, at the top left level, you have the title of the group. So as you instructed, you bring the mouse on top of the title, and then you will have the menu, and you will have the activity trim, the update, the about, the interest, and whatever we have here. So we were discussing about the filter. So you show us two filters, the one that you have with activity trim on it, and then I go to the top right level of the, and then I have a one click, and then I will have just a menu with only one option or one item. So I can do my filter by stay updates, by comment, or by share, mainly. And then the second option is to go to the update. If you want to, have the update from, like you went from the organizer of the site. So we have two options. The first one, request to show all the activity, or the stay activity, or the stay update, or and from which person. It might be when we click on the from, you see all members, admin or non-admin. And then if I try for admin, for example, if you can see on my window, and then you will have which I believe are the most important, following closely. And then if I click non-admin, and then we will have basically well, it's taking a little bit of time, but we will have admin of the website. So I think that that is exactly what we saw in the
yes,
last,
indeed. Well done, and thank you, Alain Blaise. Okay, great. So let me go back now to my browser, and yeah, so that's exactly it. Now that what Alain and I have shown you is the hard way, and now I'm going to show you the easy way, which is simply once you navigate there, you can make a bookmark. The URL, the link is always the same. So here, let me show you. Oh, and I see some good news from Bashir Ahmed. I have managed to create a Scholar account. That's wonderful news. Your next step, of course, is to join the community. So let me just go back here. And this is the link. So it's been shared in the materials, but bookmark this, which means make sure you can go back to it, because this is where you start. Each time you go into Scholar, you actually want to go to this page and see what's new from the what's new from the course team. And the way it works is you need to start at the bottom, at the last update that you saw, and work your way up. So in the remaining 3 minutes, this is exactly what I'm going to do, which is so the first update that was posted in the community was the honor code and participation guidelines. And again, it's your responsibility to go look at each update, read it, figure out what are the tasks that you need to complete for each update, and then actually so either do the task right away, because they tend to be small tasks. So if you see 7 tasks or 10 tasks, don't get scared away. And then respond. And at the bottom of an update, there's always an add a comment button. So you can, in some cases, you're asked to respond in a particular way, or to do something that, to comment on, answer a question, follow up, report on how you're doing, whatever it may be. And in other cases, the comment box is there for you if you have something to say. So some people have said they agreed to the honor code and participation guidelines. So that was the first update. The second update was orientation day 1, and for this is actually the principal author of the original GRISP guidelines, Rudy Eggers, and this is his welcome message. And in fact, this update explains that each day during orientation week, you're going to find welcome messages from WHO subject matter experts, and then video tutorials and other instructions to help you learn to use Scholar. Basically, everything I have shown you, and I've taken 28 minutes to do it, fits into maybe 7 minutes of video tutorials. So you choose if you want to figure out how to do it in 7 minutes, or whether you want to spend time in this session. Whatever will work for you and help you actually just sort of figure it out for yourself, so that you're then able to do it autonomously without getting stuck and without having to request support, which we're happy to provide, but we want to encourage you to be self-directed in your learning, and to be as autonomous as you feel comfortable being, so that we can focus the support on actually helping you build the best activity planning around the GRISP, drawing on the GRISP guidelines. And of course, orientation day 2, the update is the welcome message from Jill Milbell, who I'm pleased to see is still with us. And again, to hear, as you read the update, at the bottom of each update in Scholar, you will see a comments box. You're encouraged to use this to ask questions and share your thoughts about the content of the update. And in most updates, not necessarily during orientation week, but going forward, you're going to be explicitly asked and expected to contribute to the discussion. So again, do watch the videos. You'll see some more people from WHO contributing videos and messages and explaining. The first thing we've asked them to explain is why they do care and why it's important that you participate in this course and succeed in all the way through this 6-week marathon. So, and then here at the bottom, there's a video tutorial again that's just a few minutes, in which I summarize the 3 most common pitfalls of working in Scholar. So you'll see the updates during orientation week. We'll typically have a welcome message with substance to it. So not just saying hi, but actually saying something that matters about the course and why the course is important and your participation is valuable. And then a tutorial to walk you through a couple of the steps and to make sure you don't fall into any of the pitfalls that others that have blocked others trying to get through a Scholar course. So again, tomorrow morning you will find orientation day 3. So a new update. Use the link I've just shared in the chat, and you know, if you manage to get into the habit of doing this every day, though the people who do fairly consistently succeed and complete Scholar-based courses, the people who wait a few days and then try to catch up, that has worked for some people, but not quite as well as the most diligent approach. We understand, of course, there are many real-world professional constraints and very legitimate reasons for why you may not be able to check in every day. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how we can support you. And that's really the message, is that together with Hannah and Juan, we will be on standby pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to try to respond to you and to figure out, solve any individual technical issues, and then make sure that you are also receiving the answers to your questions about the substance, so about the content of the course, and being supported in developing your activity planning. So that's it. I want to thank you all and the remaining 23 for having stayed throughout the entire session. Thank you, Alain Blaise. Tatsinku says you're so practical in your tutorials and explanations. We appreciate and really feel like you are and will be very supportive to us. Mohammed says, thanks to the whole team for today's wonderful session. I'm just going to unmute everyone, and this will probably make a lot of noise with 23 people from almost as many different places in the world. But if you'd like to greet each other, please do so. And we will be opening up the sessions 30 minutes ahead of time so that you can come in and chat and just sort of informally converse about how you're doing in the course. So thank you all for your attention.
Thanks, everyone.
Good luck with the orientation week, and do get ready for Monday. The work will be quite intense. Right? In response to Mimi's question about, I could not understand the part on how to use a bookmark in Scholar. So let me just get that last answer in. A bookmark is not something you do in Scholar. It's a function of your web browser. So for example, I have bookmarks here for the GRISP. So it's just a way of saving a link, a place you go to on the web. And you may want to you may want to go to Google and how to add bookmark to my web browser. Let me just see if there's a convenient link. Yeah, so you may want to look at this page. All right, whoops. And again, yeah, there you go. Hope that will be helpful to you. Let me unmute everyone again in case there are any. Yeah, maybe I've just posted the link. All right. All right. Great. Take care, all of you, and see you in Scholar. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Wow.